He set down his brush and asked the king for his army, not because the army was weak, because the timing was wrong. A falcon circles at 10,000 feet. It does not dive immediately. It watches. It waits. It studies the movement below until the exact millisecond when the target cannot escape. Then it strikes once. The falcon does not miss. Not because it is faster than every other bird, because it knows something most people never learn. Timing is not speed. Timing is patience with a trigger. Sun Tzu wrote this into The Art of War. The quality of decision is like the well-timed swoop of a falcon. He did not admire the speed of the strike. He admired the silence before it. He proved it by holding King Helu's army back for 3 years while the Chu state grew comfortable. When he finally moved, the battle was already decided. Most people read the falcon line and think it is about hunting. It is about the difference between moving and moving well. You do not strike once. You strike 10 times. You send the message before you are ready. You take the job before you understand the role. You say I love you before you know if you mean it. You are not a falcon. You are a machine gun spraying bullets in every direction, hoping one hits something. That is not strategy. That is desperation disguised as action. Sun Tzu warned that most generals lose because they cannot sit still. They see an opportunity and they grab it. They feel pressure and they react. They confuse activity with progress and exhaustion with effort. The falcon does none of that. The falcon watches until the moment is perfect. Then it ends the chase in 1 second. You have been trying to win by moving faster. That is not the problem. The problem is that you have been moving at the wrong time. Every single time. You invested when the excitement was highest. You quit when the discomfort was loudest. You spoke when the silence needed to stay. Every one of those moves cost you something. And every one of them came from the same mistake. But the cost of wrong timing is not what you think it is. You feel it in your chest. The pressure to answer immediately. The fear that if you do not respond now, the opportunity will vanish. The voice that says waiting is losing. That voice is lying to you. Think about the last time you sent an angry text. You felt the heat rise. Your fingers moved before your brain engaged. You hit send. And then you spent the next hour regretting it. That is not a failure of self-control. That is a failure of timing. You struck at the wrong moment. And the falcon would never make that mistake. Sun Tzu wrote that the enemy can be forced to move at your pace. If he is taking his ease, harass him. If well supplied with food, starve him out. If quietly encamped, force him to move. He understood that timing is not something you wait for. It is something you create. The falcon does not hope the mouse runs left. The falcon studies the mouse until it knows which way it will turn. The falcon is not reacting. It is deciding. But here is what most people get wrong. Timing feels like patience. It feels like doing nothing. So you fill the silence with bad decisions. You answer before you understand. You commit before you know. You move because standing still feels like falling behind. But the falcon does not fall behind. The falcon wins because it waited. Sun Tzu said waiting is strength when strategy drives it. The general who waits holds his position. The general who rushes digs his own grave. The difference is invisible from the outside. On the inside, it is everything. The crossbow does not fire because it is loaded. It fires because someone chose the right moment to release the trigger. You have been loaded for years. The moment keeps arriving. You keep releasing too early, and the bolt keeps missing. You are making the same mistake every day. You just do not know it yet. Sun Tzu compared decision to a crossbow. Energy may be likened to the bending of a crossbow. Decision to the releasing of the trigger. The crossbow does not fire because it is angry. It fires because the tension has been built correctly. 1 millimeter of pressure at the wrong moment and the bolt misses. 1 millimeter at the right moment and the target falls. That is the transformation. You stop reacting. You start calculating. You stop answering immediately. You start saying, "I will think about it." You stop forcing outcomes. You start creating the conditions where the right outcome becomes inevitable. He understood that most people lose because they cannot tolerate the tension of not knowing. They need certainty now. They need an answer now. They need to feel in control now. So they act before they have enough information. They close doors that should have stayed open. They say words they cannot take back. Sun Tzu compared the timing of a general to the well-timed swoop of a falcon. The falcon does not circle forever. It circles until the moment is exact. Then it acts once. He trained the Wu army on that principle. Not speed, not force, precision of moment. When he finally moved against the Chu, the battle lasted minutes, not because his army was larger, but because the moment had been chosen correctly. The falcon does not need to know where the mouse will be in 10 minutes. It only needs to know where the mouse will be in 1 second. That is enough. You do not need to see the whole path. You only need to see the next step. But you cannot see the next step if you are already running. You do not need more confidence. You need more patience. You do not need to move faster. You need to move at exactly the right time. The falcon is not faster than the mouse. It is more precise. And precision is not something you are born with. It is something you build by watching, waiting, and learning when to stay still. Sun Tzu knew exactly what it costs when you do not. So here's where you are right now. You have been losing battles you could have won. Not because you are not smart enough. Not because you are not fast enough. You are losing because you strike before the moment exists. Sun Tzu said the quality of decision is the well-timed swoop of a falcon. That means most of your work happens before you act. The watching, the waiting, the calculation. If you skip those steps, the strike does not matter. You will miss, and you have been missing for years. The version of you that waits is not weak. The version of you that watches is not passive. The version of you that calculates is not afraid. That version is the falcon, and the falcon does not lose. The moment is not something you force. It is something you recognize. And you can only recognize it if you have been paying attention. Paying attention means watching your own patterns. Noticing when you are about to move from fear instead of timing. Catching the impulse before it becomes a mistake. That is what the falcon does every time it circles. It is not waiting because it is slow. It is waiting because it is ready. Most people will never learn this. They will spend their entire lives striking too early and wondering why nothing lands. They will call it bad luck. They will call it bad timing. But timing is not something that happens to you. Sun Tzu proved that 2,500 years ago. The falcon proves it every time it hunts. The falcon strikes once. That is all it needs. I move when the moment is right. I move when the moment is right. I move when the moment is right.